Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with some flashcards. You guys know the drill. So here's number 1. Pause and practice each element. Here is number 2. And remember that you can, that's upside down, that you can work on transposing any of these as well if that's something that you think would be helpful for your practice. This one would be a great one to try in a variety of different hand positions. Pause and practice. Here is number 3. And just remember, if you guys ever want any additional sight reading practice, flashcards or just some other documents that I can pull together for you, just feel free to let me know, and I'm happy to get you guys some extra sight reading work if you feel like that would be beneficial. And then here is our last one, number 4. And as always, feel free to practice these on multiple days of your weekly practice routine. Do one on one day, one on the other, that way you get the most out of it. Don't feel like you need to rush through anything. Take your time. Don't feel like you have to do them all at once. So great, there we go. So we'll go ahead and jump into our pages for this week, and we're going to be looking at Unit 14. We're getting really near the end of this book now. We're going to be looking at our primary chords in C major. So when we talk about the primary chords, we're talking about a couple things specifically. So if we think about our C scale, from C to C, we can say our note names out loud, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, or we can think about it in terms of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. You can call it 8 or 1. So when we talk about building a chord, when we say I'm talking about the 1 chord or the 5 chord, it means that if I built a chord, my 3 notes, on my first scale degree, that number 1, which is C. So if I build a chord on that first note of my scale, I would call that my 1 chord. If I built a chord on my second note of the scale, that'd be my 2 chord. If I built a chord on the third note of the scale, it'd be a 3 chord, a 4 chord, a 5 chord, a 6 chord, a 7 chord, and back to 1. So when we talk about the primary chords in our key, the primary chords are our 1 chord, our 4 chord, and our 5 chord. And if you kind of remember, we usually do this we call it a 5-7 chord. You don't really have to worry about right now why we do that. If you want to kind of dive into the music theory of that, go ahead. But just for our purposes, we just know that most of the time our 5 chord is a 5-7 chord. And then when we play them, a lot of times we do what we call inversions, which is where we take the notes of that chord. If we had C, E, G, for example, we could put C, E, G in any order, and it's still a C chord. It's just an inverted C chord. So I could go E, G, C, and I would call that a first inversion. I could go G, C, E, and I could call that a second inversion, but it's still a C chord. Same thing with my 4 chord, for example. I can go F, A, C, F, C, F, A. And those are still all 4 chords. They're just inverted. And then the same thing with our 5-7 chord. So let's go ahead and look at page 144, and we're going to look at these little warm-ups for playing our inverted 4 chord. So for the left hand, we're going to play our open 5th, if you look in the middle of the page right here. Then we're going to step our thumb up to A. Then we're going to add the F in the middle, and that's our 4 chord. And then we step back down to 1. I'll do them again. 5 and 1. 1 goes up. Then we add our 2. That's our 4 chord. Then we go back down to 1. Now for the right hands. I have 1 and 5. 5 goes up to A. 3 comes down to that F in the middle to make it our full 4 chord. Then we go back down to our C major chord. One more time. Up. Add the F. Back down to C. Great. So now let's take a look at that full 4-chord warm-up at the bottom of 144. And I'll go ahead and play through and kind of cue out loud for this one. 1, ready, go. C, E, G, left hand blocked, chord, and C, F, A, left hand blocked, chord, and C chord, left. Left thumb down, G7 chord, left, left, both C chords together. Great, so definitely go ahead and give that a couple of tries until you feel really comfortable playing both hands on the 1, the 4, and the 5/7 chord. Then you can also do this little exercise down here where you harmonize your C major scale, or your C major pentascale using the 1, the 4, and the 5/7 chords. So I'll let you kind of play around with that because what you really want to do is be able to hear it for yourself, which note works the best in each place. So I'm not going to demonstrate it because that would kind of defeat the point. So I want you to try playing your C major scale, your pentascale, and figure out which chord sounds best on each note with the pentascale, and kind of use your ear for that one. So now we'll turn over to page 145, and we're going to look at Rise and Shine in the key of C major. And I'll go ahead and play through this one hands separately first, and I'll say the chord names out loud for our left hand part, and then I'll say the finger numbers out loud for the right hand. So here's our left hand. 1, 2, watch the ties. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. 4 chord, also the F chord. 4. Tie. 2, 3. Back to 1 chord, C chord, and 2. Tie. 2, 3. Back to F chord, 4 chord, 3, 4. Tie. 2. Rest, rest. C chord and C chord and F, rest, 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 C chord, rest, rest, G7, rest, rest, F, down to C. Fabulous. And then you can go ahead and fill in. I kind of switch back and forth between saying the letter names of the chord and the Roman numerals. So when we use the 1, 4, and 5/7, we call that our Roman numeral names. So why don't you go ahead and, as they have examples here, write in the Roman numerals underneath each chord. So write in either the 1, the 4, or the 5/7 underneath each of the chords. So you practice labeling it with both the note name and the Roman numeral name. So now here is the right hand. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1, 3, 3, 4, sub 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5, rest, 5, 5, 5, 3, 2, 1, stretch, 2, 1, 3, and hold. 1, 2, over, 1, rest. Beautiful. So go ahead and make sure that you feel pretty comfortable playing, especially with those little changes in finger numbers that we have in the right hand part. That one's a little bit more complicated. with some of those finger crosses and stretches and substitutions. So you want to make sure that you're really paying attention to the notes and the finger numbers very carefully. And then here is this one with both hands together. 1, 2, ready, go. Up to our F chord. Stretch down, 2 over, beautiful. So there's how we do with that one, both hands together. Again, for your practice, definitely practice this one hand separately. Pay careful attention to the finger numbers, the chord names, and also the rhythm with this one. It's a little bit different. I think that you guys should be able to do that pretty easily, but definitely tap through the rhythm as well if you need that to kind of get this one solid for you. So then we'll go ahead and take a look at Trumpet Concerto on page 146 to 147, a little bit of a longer one here. Here we have a little bit of a broken chord pattern in the left hand. So instead of playing all of the notes together, we're playing the bottom note, and then the top two, so what I want you guys to go ahead and do is to, as they have the example right in the first measure, write in the chord name, the letter name above each measure, and the Roman numeral underneath. And feel free to go back to page 144 if you kind of need to reference exactly which notes are in each chord. And go through and make sure that you're writing that in. I'll give you a little hint. Whenever it just has F and G together, those two right next to each other, you're going to label that as a 5-7 chord, okay? Because they're just missing the B. But when you have these two, you're going to label that as 5-7. So go through and take a quick second, pause the video, and make sure that you go through and label each one of those. And then when you get all done with that, we'll try playing the left hand out loud all together. So here we go, left hand alone. 1, 2, ready, go. 1. Rest, 4 chord. Rest, rest. 5-7. 1. Rest, rest. 5-7. 1. Rest. 5-7. 1. Rest, 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 rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 chord. Rest, 4 chord. Rest, rest. 5-7. 1. Rest, rest. 5-7. 1. Rest. 5-7. 1. Rest, 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 rest. 1. Rest, 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 rest. 5-7. Okay, so make sure that you feel really comfortable with that. Feel really comfortable maybe saying the chord names out loud as well. That's a really great practice strategy to ensure that you really, really are comfortable. And then we'll go ahead and try the right hand alone. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 5, 1, 3, 4, 4, 3, 5, 1, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, and jump. 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, cross, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, cross over, rest, jump. 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 5, 1, 3, 4, 4, 3, 5, 1, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, and jump. 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 3 over 4, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 4. Perfect. Now here we go with both hands together. So you'll definitely want to make sure that you practice, especially that right hand part, significantly hands separately, and make sure that you feel comfortable with all of the jumps in hand position and all the places where we cross fingers over and all of that good stuff. So just make sure that you're feeling really confident with that and that you practice significantly hands separately before we go ahead and give it a try hands together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 chord, 4 chord, 5, 7, 1 chord, 5, 7, 1, 5, 7, 1, and jump. Watch fingers here, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, over 1 chord, 4 chord, 5, 7, 1 chord, 5, 7, 1 chord, jump. Careful here. 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 1, 5, 7, 1 chord. There we go. So again, giving you guys some options that are a little bit, getting a little bit more complex, but also a little bit more musical. And, it really sounds like a whole song playing all by yourself, and it sounds really full. This one also sounds really nice if you can get this one up tempo, just a little bit more. Again, don't go crazy or break your neck trying to get this too fast, and you want it to sound accurate and clean and make sure that you're playing the right notes, the right rhythms, the right finger numbers, all of that good stuff. But this one sounds really, really nice at a little bit of an up tempo. So when you kind of get it up to that, it sounds really, really lively, and that's a little bit of the kind of the original tempo of the song. So I would definitely recommend, if you have never heard this trumpet concerto by Haydn, it's actually a really, really lovely piece, and I think that you guys would probably really like it. So definitely go ahead and give a listen to the original version as well, and I think that you would definitely enjoy listening to that. So we are now going to go ahead and look over at yet another one. They're kind of giving us one little challenge in a row here after another. So we're looking at The Entertainer by Scott Joplin. And for this one, we are dealing with both chords in the left hand as well as a lot of accidentals in the right hand. So we have sharps, flats, and naturals throughout this song. So we have to pay really, really careful attention to that. So I would definitely go through and, first of all, mark in your chords. So they have the little boxes provided on those first 2 lines, but you can go ahead and mark those in on the other measures as well, even if there's not a box provided. Feel free to just go ahead and mark those in. And then mark in some of the hand position changes, the finger changes, and the sharps and flats that you have in either hand. That would be a really good thing to go ahead and just take a quick note of, go through and mark all of those things. And then we'll give this one a try, practicing thoroughly hands separately before we even try playing hands together. So I'll go ahead and give you the the left hand alone here. So here we go with the left hand. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, rest. 5. 1, 3. 5. 1, 2. 1, 3. Rest, rest, rest. 1 chord. 5 chord. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1, 3. Rest, rest. 5. 1, 3. 5. 1, 2. 1, 3. Rest, rest, rest. 4. Tie. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 3, 5. 1, 2, 1, 3. 1 chord. 5, 7 chord. 1, 5. 1, 3. 1, 3. Jump 1. 2 flat. Thumb comes under 1. 3 flat. Thumb comes under 1. Tie. 2, 3, 1, 5. Great. Now here is the right hand. This one you'll want to practice in short sections slowly because we've got a lot of fun stuff in the right hand here. So I'll go ahead and call out the finger numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready, go. 1, 2 sharp. 1 under 5. 1, 5. 1, 5. Tie. 2, 3, 4. Rest. Jump. 1, 2, 3 sharp. 4, 2 stretch. 3, 4. Tie. 1, 3, and 2. Rest, rest, jump. 1, 2 sharp. 1, 5. 1, 5. 1, 5. Tie. 2, 3, 4. Rest, rest. 3, 1, 2 over. 1, 3, 5. Tie. 4, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 4. Rest, rest. 1, 2 sharp. 1, 5. 1, 5. 1, 5. Tie. 2, 3, 4. Rest. 1, 2, 3 sharp. 4, 2 down. 3, 4. Tie. 1, 3, 2. Rest, rest. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Tie. 1, 2, 2. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. Tie. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, tie, stretch, 1, 2, 1, rest, rest, 1, 5. Excellent. So now we'll go ahead and go for this one with both hands together. Again, I would say that this is one that you'll want to spend a lot of time practicing hands separately. You really can't rush the hand separate practice for this one. Give it a lot of time. Do practice in short sections. I would also maybe on this one do what we've done on certain other ones where you mark where the notes coincide. So mark where your left hand and right hand notes come together. Okay, because that's going to be one thing that's going to be a little bit tricky, and also make sure that you again mark your ties with this one, especially in that right hand, because otherwise it's going to be really easy for the rhythm to get off, and you have to mark the places where your left hand plays while your right hand ties, and vice versa. So you want to just be really careful of that. So here we go from the very beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ready, go. Jump. 1 chord. 5, 7. Careful here. Really fun one in this one, and again I'll go ahead and play a little bit of this one, a little bit of tempo, because if you spend a lot of time working on this one, you can get it up a little bit faster. It sounds really great. So you can see when you're kind of able to get it up tempo a little bit, it really just sounds like the original version of The Entertainer that most of us know and love. So again, just feel free to spend a little bit of extra time practicing on that one. Then we'll go ahead and turn the page, and we have Home on the Range, and this is a lead sheet. So that's where we have a melody part that's written out in the treble clef, and then above it we have chord names that are written in. So we have here, like we can see that the C chord is written in, we have the F chord, the G7 chord, all written in above that melody line. So what that means is that's we're going to play with our left hand, that the chord. So I would play C, still C, F, still F, C, C, and you can repeat it in each measure or not. C, G7, C, G7, C, F, C, G7, C. So I went ahead and just played through that melody part with the chords. Now you'll notice that I sometimes played the chord where it didn't say it above the measure. You can play that chord anywhere within its jurisdiction before the next chord comes in. So if you have a C chord in that first measure and you don't have the F chord again until the third measure, you can play the C chord anywhere within those first two measures. You can also play blocked chords like I just did, where I was just playing all three notes of the chord at once, or you could play a broken chord. You could do a waltz pattern. You could do anything you wanted with the notes of those chords, and the little references are right above the song on page 150. So go through and play this one and give yourself some creative freedom with how you want to play the left hand and the right hand together. You can add pedal markings they have in here, or you could not add those. This is really a space. A lead sheet, again, is a suggestion. It's sort of giving you the melody, some idea of the chords, but this is kind of what a lot of popular and jazz musicians use. Is writing in the forms of lead sheets. And so you are more than welcome to kind of take a little bit of creative freedom, do something a little bit different with this. So we will look at our little chord etude on page 152. And so you'll notice that each line has one chord that it's playing. So the first line we're playing our F chord, then we jump up the octaves twice, then we come back down. Then we have the C sus4, up twice, then back down. Then we have the 7 chord, then the C chord. Okay, so and then you're just playing an F for the first line with your left hand, then a G for those second two lines, and then a C for the last line. So it's actually really, really simple. Just practicing jumping the octaves with those chords. So I'll go ahead and just demonstrate this one. 1, 2, ready, go. F chord lift, then back down, finish up. Now to C sus4, so it's 1, 5, 4, 5. C sus4, C sus4, C sus4, back down. Now we're going to go thumb down to our G7, G7, then back down. Now our thumb comes up, 3 goes down to E. So I really like that one. It sounds really beautiful, and it's a really great way to practice jumping around the keyboard using the words that are going to come to my brain, using the different chords. So it's really good practice for finding the chords, because if you can do that, jumping all over the keyboard, then being able to switch really quickly between the chords when you're actually playing them in a song is going to be a whole lot easier. Then we have on page 153, the theory page, is identifying the chord pattern. So it's going to be a little mix and match where you're going to look at the side and you're going to say, okay, is it going from the 1 chord to the 1 chord to the 5/7 to the 5/7 to the 1, which one matches that description. And you'll go ahead and write in on the actual notes which chords they have and then match which ones are the same. So that is what we have for that unit. So here is our 5-finger patterns, E flat minor and B flat minor. E flat minor is black, white, black, black, black. And B flat minor is black, white, black, black, white. Okay? So I'll say the note names out loud, and the finger numbers, and then all by itself. So here's E flat minor. And remember, these are in the minor 5-finger patterns PDF. 1, 2, ready, go. E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, G flat, B flat, G flat, E flat. Finger numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Then here's B flat minor. Ready, go. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, D flat, F, D flat, B flat. Finger numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. So here are our A flat and D flat minor 5-finger patterns. Now these ones are easy on one level because they're actually the exact same pattern of black keys and white keys as the major. They are both black, black, white, black, 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 white, black, black. We're just moving down to that lower white key in the middle. So for D flat minor, we're not playing F, we're playing F flat. E, but don't call it E because that's wrong. Same thing with A flat. We're not playing C, we're playing C flat, also known as B, but don't call it that because that's wrong. So I'll go ahead and say through the note names and the finger numbers on these. 1, 2, D flat, go. D flat, E flat, F flat, G flat, A flat, G flat, F flat, E flat, D flat, F flat, A flat, D flat, F flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. And here is A flat. Ready, go. A flat, B flat, C flat,